don't forget to share this. Hey, how goes it? Ken Bozak here to talk about Bitcoin and Bitcoin accessories. And today we're streaming with strangers. Well, today our guest, he's no stranger at all. It's Digital Lawrence. Everybody knows and loves this dude. How goes it, bro? I much appreciate you coming on the show. Why don't you let everybody know a little bit about yourself, maybe who you are, how you got into crypto, and what that led you to do now in the industry.
Cool, man. Yeah. So name's Digital Lawrence. Some people call me Lawrence. Some people call me James. Yeah, crypto has been a little journey. I guess I've been into it about 2 years full time now, maybe a little under. First learned about it, I don't know, I think in 2011 when I was living in Denver. Maybe it was 2012. And I went to some futurist conference and some dude was talking about Bitcoin. And I was reading about it like on all these weird underground like forum things, but I didn't really get it. Like I didn't really understand what it was. I thought it was like fake internet money, I guess, like people still think today. I just didn't understand like the network effect and it being like limited in supply, and I just didn't get it. And I remember seeing it on like websites in like 2013, maybe 14, like Expedia accepted it for a bit, or some big websites, I can't remember.
Like Overstock and stuff like that.
Yeah, maybe it was like Overstock. I remember seeing the button. I was like, Bitcoin. And then my buddy who was living in San Francisco, he was like, I need to talk to him. I haven't talked to him in years, but he was living next door to Ross, I think, from the Silk Road.
Oh, wow.
They were like in the same building or something. And pretty much like the whole like thing happened where, you know, Ross got in trouble, and my buddy was kind of privy to all that when it was going down. And then I heard about Bitcoin again. We were talking about it. I was like, damn, that's crazy. So I was like, all right, maybe I could get into Bitcoin. So I emailed Bitcoin, I think it was .org or .com, and I was like, hey, I want to buy an ATM. This was December 2013, because I found the email like 2 years ago, and they just never responded, and I just kind of forgot about it. And then I remember like Mt. Gox happening, and I just literally just was living my life. And then finally, like in 2000, I guess it was early 2017, one of my friends was like, yeah, I have all this money in Bitcoin. And I was like, oh, is that thing still around, you know? And he was like, yeah, I remember you talking about it years ago. Like, make sure you didn't buy any. I was like, fuck, you're right. So I like checked on my Gmail, searched it, and like typed in Bitcoin. And then like the Gmail subject line, it was like Bitcoin, December 2013. I was like, I'm rich. It's over. I was like, I bought like 10,000 of them, you know, or something. And I checked, it was just like an unreplied email. Then I was like, man, fuck that. I'm not fucking missing out on that shit again. So then I started getting in, and I was doing other things at the time. I had like a company, and I used to work in film, then I was working in real estate. And then I was like, man, I just put some money in. Then I ended up having a decent chunk of money, and I just like YOLO'd and put like a decent amount into it. And then that started to grow and grow. And then like at the end of 2017, I just like dipped out of USA with two of my good buddies. And we started traveling through Asia for about, I don't know, 10 months. So pretty much all of 2018, I was overseas and just traveling, hanging out with crypto folks, going to conferences, you know, building my Twitter, taking photos, videos, just hanging out, having fun. And since then, just, you know, trying to figure out ways to stay in the community and like do some cool stuff for it and just have fun, you know?
Yeah, man, and I guess that's, you know, what has led you to FOMO Hunt, you know, attending all those events and traveling so damn much. I know I watched you, you know, pretty much tour Asia, man. It was like hella cool to watch. I did it on the US myself, so as I'm traveling, I'm getting fatigued. I'm like, dude, I'm sick of friggin' plane rides, dude, and I'm looking at my phone, and there's like, you know, Digital Lawrence and Shill Nye on another flight to somewhere in Asia. So I was like, yeah, it's awesome to see a lot of us were doing that, though. You know, there's a lot of us that were taking the time to really go around and attend these events and soak in some of those, you know, wealths of knowledge that really were like some of these events were great treasure troves, some of them maybe not so much, which I could appreciate now the conception of FOMO Hunt. Maybe you could talk a little bit about what that is and how you were inspired to create the platform.
Cool. Yeah. Yeah, it was fun traveling Asia. You know, I think we bumped into you a couple places in the States, like Vegas, I think, and I don't
Yeah,
remember where
we
else.
bumped into Vegas a couple times actually, which is funny.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It was fun. Yeah, I just, I think I was the first 6 months overseas. I was kind of just chilling. Like I was doing some stuff on, I was hanging out, having fun, going to the beach, whatever, riding scooters. And then like the second half of my journey, I started really hitting conferences. Like I really like took like more quote professional and like started going to events and conferences and probably about a month into it, me and I guess I was with Nye. We met in Bali. That was the first time I met Nye. I met him in Bali. I just saw on Twitter he was in Bali. I was like, I'm in fucking Bali.
Is that the
Bali's
one with
small.
the dope ass hotel with the aquarium inside?
Fuck. No, I don't. I'm not sure. I can't remember
You
where
were
that
in one of
was.
them. You were in one of these friggin' hotels, and it was like SeaWorld in the friggin' lobby, dude.
Dude, why am I totally blanking? I wonder where that was. Maybe. Not Tokyo. I forget. I know what you're talking about though. Maybe that was Singapore.
It
I
may
think
have. It was.
Singapore.
I mean, dude, you were like again all over Asia, man. It was hella cool. What was that like? Was there like? Was there a lot of cultural and linguistic like barriers, or was it more fluid traveling in 2019?
Man, I guess it depends what country. I can give you like the quick summary of the journey and like what order and kind of break them down
Yeah,
because
like
they're all so
sort
different.
of like the vibe, I guess, between like an American crypto event, like,
Mm,
Consensus in
mm-hmm.
New York City, as opposed to
Yeah.
like one of the blockchain events in Asia that you attended. Like, what are the cultural differences of these conferences across the world?
Okay. Well, okay. So I went to events in Thailand. And Thailand's kind of Thailand is just kind of a free for all. I mean, it's a cool, really cool culture. I like it a lot, but it just feels a lot more relaxed than America. Like it's like open container laws everywhere. Like you can just walk around with your shirt off, like whatever. I mean, it has a very cool like old culture too that they like preserve and have in temples. But the conferences in Bangkok are really cool. They were mostly native people from Thailand, and then they had some people from Vietnam and some of the other closer Southeast Asian countries. And then after that, we went to Laos, which I didn't do anything in crypto in Laos except worked online because Laos is pretty rural. I mean, there's some big cities. I'm sure there's stuff happening there, but I didn't go to any events there. And then Vietnam's pretty crypto. Northern Vietnam, not really sure. I didn't do much up there, but southern, like in Ho Chi Minh, Saigon City, Coin, Liquid Exchange, they're like one of the biggest in the world. They have a big office there. I met some people that work there. It's a very like just chill culture. Bali was cool. We went to the Pundi X release, and
Yeah,
I
I was
met the
gonna
Pundi
bring that
X
up
team.
actually, man. How was that? Because you got to meet a lot of these companies that didn't attend American crypto conferences or blockchain events at all. So
Yeah,
there was no
yeah,
representation from these companies in Asia that are basically paving the way for a lot of
yeah.
these projects to move forward. What is that like? Are they worried about regulations as much as the U.S. companies, or do they feel more comfortable with their futures?
Well, I guess my okay. So mainland China, from my experience, and this is my perspective, so it's not maybe entirely accurate, but in mainland China, crypto is a little bit hush hush, somewhat. It's not so out in the open. Apparently, especially in Beijing, it's a little more controlled. It's like Washington D.C. of China. That's like where their federal government is. A lot of like government officials are in Beijing. So apparently in Beijing, it's kind of I don't want to say underground, but not like as prominent versus in Shanghai. And this is from people that live there and have told me Shanghai is a little more. It's like where the East meets the West. It's like kind of more like New York City of China, I guess. It's very like free spirited, multicultural, like, lots of expats, lots of everybody. But the interesting thing is a lot of the companies in China and Shanghai, they operate under different names somewhat in China. So like their real crypto name that you'd be familiar with isn't the company name that they're operating under. And it's not like exactly banned in China, but it's from my perspective, one person told me was the government's kind of trying to take care of its people and that there was a ton of ICO scams happening all over the world, and they were kind of looking out for their citizens and not like just letting anybody create an ICO and just like run off with money. So
Now,
they kind of took a hardline approach to it.
right, and in my opinion, everybody, that is a fine line between censorship and oppression. In my opinion, I mean, it's a fine line, right? Like a lot of censorship comes in the form of security theater, like the Patriot Act or the Freedom Act, things like that, where you lose a lot of freedoms and liberties in the pursuit of your own security. But now,
Yeah.
if you had your own hopes and dreams to create a company and was thinking of going the route of an ICO and all legitimacy to do so, you may not even have the option now because of regulations, even though it is supposed to be a decentralized means of currency. It's actually regulated from the gate. It's not so much decentralized. It's scary as hell. But these events are amazing, dude. I got to go out to one of them in Asia. I've had Nico Z harassing me to go to the Hong Kong conference, and
Yeah,
the
I'm
coin's
going.
in the air, man. You're going? Damn,
Hmm.
everyone's going. It's
All
tempting,
the cool
man.
kids.
When is it? When is it again?
March 5th.
March 5th. See, now, if only there was an easier way to keep track of all these events, Digital Lawrence. What are we going to do?
Man, I don't know. I heard somebody's putting together something that's kind of cool.
It's about friggin' time, dude. I wish something like that came out in 2017. 18 would have been a hell of a lot easier for scheduling. I literally
Yeah.
got sucked into about 20 shit events that were hosted by shit hosts that basically just had publicity and people that never showed up to speak. It was like, I wish I had a way to have reputation behind these. So lay it on me, man. Solve this problem.
Oh man. All right. So we're just making meetup.com for blockchain. It's every event in the world, from a coffee shop Bitcoin meetup in Buenos Aires to like some big conference in Singapore. We're going to index every event, allow people, organizers to, if we indexed it for you, we found it. If you're the event organizer, you can claim it, attach it to your profile, kind of take over the managing of that event. And if you're creating a new event, it's a good place just to hop on, put it in our database. We'll have like some promotional tiers, maybe like you do this, you're on the home page, you do this, you're featured in the search results. And we're still working that out. But our first big thing is like get everybody in crypto on it. So like super simple, like fomohunt.com/Ken Bozak. You'll have your social profile, all your information, and we'll add some features. Like we're looking at adding like an encrypted messenger platform integration where people can just kind of chat between each other on the site, and you can do like some group chat. So say you're like, for example, say you're doing Consensus May in New York City, the big conference, and you want to push out an update to everybody. Twitter's great, love Twitter, but it's a good way to give everybody who RSVP'd or said they liked the event an update. Hey, so and so speaking. Hey, the venue changed. Hey, ticket prices are dropping or increasing. Hey, last chance to
That's
register. So
interesting.
we're
Well,
gonna get them some
I've been to a bunch of
tools.
events and there's been like last minute changes to the schedule and you miss a
Yeah.
key speaker and they're like, oh,
Hmm.
you should have went to the app. But I don't want to download a different app for every single event. I went to 50 of
Exactly.
them. You know how many conference apps I had to download and how many third-party
Whack.
vulnerabilities there are?
Whack.
It's so insane, man. And then every other one of them's a different experience. They're not like their
Yeah, yeah,
ubiquitous
yeah.
experiences.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
I've actually thought about this need while traveling to events. So
Mm,
like it's really awesome that you've decided to actually build something like this and it's out of obvious the need of traveling to events and having to filter out
yeah.
which ones are worth going to. And a lot of people will reach out to me and I've seen this happen with you and Nye and a lot of other people that
Yeah.
travel. They tweeted
Yeah.
us nonstop. Where are you going next? What event's worth going to? Where are you going next? Is there
Yeah, yeah,
another
yeah.
even if you're not going to an event, people want your opinion on them. Or if you went to an event, they want to know your review on it. So I feel like
Hmm.
having one place for this, sort of like a meetup meets Yelp, is a perfect combination of what the space is needed as to add credibility to conferences and meetups.
Yeah.
Because you don't
Dude,
want to go to a
definitely.
meetup and find out that they're shilling you USI Tech and BitConnect, and
Yep.
you traveled an hour to get there. People can review that and save you some time.
Yeah. No, definitely. That's kind of the goal is like the big goal is to bring a couple 100 million people into the space, maybe. I don't know. I have like some cool kids from like Nigeria hit me up. I have like cool kids from like Poland hit me up, Iceland saying like, hey, let me be an ambassador in my country. Like I'll run the events. I'll onboard everybody. I'm like, dope. Like, that's cool. Like, it's global. I mean, pretty much at this point, I can go to any city in the world and somebody will either buy Bitcoin off of me directly. So it's almost a universal currency. Or I can go to any city in the world and meet up with some crypto people. Like, literally, like, I can go to Shanghai right now and call like 20 people and like grab dinner. Like, it's cool. It's like a shared community, and I like it. And it's kind of like the wave that everybody's on, maybe our generation or something. It's like the new woke
No, it
thing to
is.
do.
Have
Like,
you seen the
right?
app Couchsurfer? Where it's basically like
Yeah,
a
I've heard.
free
Yeah, I've used
Airbnb.
it.
Yeah, dude, I actually have a year membership. I'm going to be interviewing
Oh,
the
sick.
CEO, but it's a really
Oh,
cool
shit.
concept, right? And it's like you said, you could just hop on FOMO Hunt, say, hey, I want to
Yeah.
host a meetup in Colorado, put it
Yeah.
together, go on Couchsurfers and say, hey, I'm going to be in Colorado for 2 days. I'm
Oh, you're right.
organizing a
That's
meetup.
sick.
And now you have a place to crash, somebody that you're going to be shilling crypto to all day because it's just what we do. And then you have it's just the way our millennial, are living. And it's
100%.
a lot of us are not buying houses. We're using that money to buy experiences.
100%, 100%. Yeah, I mean, I'm always thinking like, oh, should I try to buy a condo in LA? And then I'm like, you know what? Maybe just YOLO. Like, I'm going back to Hong Kong next in like 2-3 weeks, and then I'm like, I might just stay out there for like a month or two. Like, go hit all the cities, chill with people, do some business, come back. Like,
right. And you can even have the companies, like, like you're traveling, companies can organize these events on FOMO Hunt, and you could have like a
100%.
Binance meetup in FOMO Hunt, you know what I mean? So it gives like companies sort of like a personality as well.
Oh, that's so true. That's such a good idea. Yeah, definitely. I mean, I do want to like reach out to people like Binance and some of like the bigger companies and bigger exchanges, like the new ones like Beaksy and stuff, and just, see like, hey, y'all want to like roll out 12 meetups in California?
I think 12 meetups would be more powerful than one conference if that's what it came down to with their marketing budget. Like if you gave
100%.
up one conference marketing budget to put on 12 meetups once a month, the impact that would have, it would be exponential. There's no way to measure that growth. It's when you do
100%.
these. Unfortunately, I don't agree with much of the conferences anymore. It felt like odd echo chambers that were priced out from the people that really needed to be there. It was like if you could afford to go to Consensus, you probably didn't deserve to be in the audience, right? You didn't gain much. You're just it was like a status symbol event, right?
Sure, yeah.
But these meetups are really, really powerful tools.
I think so. Yeah, and eventually I had a buddy that's talking to me about like kind of joining the FOMO Hunt platform. He's kind of like a bigger guy in the space, I guess you could say. And he was saying, eventually crypto is not going to be as cool in a couple years. Right. And he was saying, kind of this whole, really, yeah. So he was saying kind of like this whole woke, I'll just use that as a play term holder, but this whole like esports, online poker, like crypto, like those people share a lot of the same similarities, like very independent, very like mobile, very somewhat anti-establishment, somewhat anti-censorship, so eventually, we'll probably move more towards like merging, and that's the goal, is like get outside the echo chamber. And we're gonna do some events like where we bring an esports tournament to like a crypto event. Like, we're going to start doing some things like that, like later this year, and kind of expand the vision outside of just like, I love everybody in crypto, but, I've gone to, I don't know, 30 conferences or something. I have no idea, but you see the same people, but it's cool. Like if you bump into somebody in Thailand and then you see them again in Singapore and then again in LA, you're like, damn, that's the homie. But, we want to grow that a little bit more and catch the next second wave. So I think we can do that with FOMO Hunt. And everybody,
especially if you can, like I said, like or like you actually said, I was gonna say like gamifying this, right? Like the gaming 100%. Aspect of crypto, it's unparalleled to anything with microtransactions, faucets, bounties, dividends from stake. I mean, there's an exponential way to gamify interactions with platforms. Even with like a platform like FOMO Hunt, there could be token rewards, and you can get conferences to accept those points that they earn by contributing reviews and blah blah for discounts. Like it's exponential what we can do with this technology because we're so early. But like you also said, that shit's gonna get real boring real fast, bro. We don't have fax machine conferences anymore. We don't see people going, woo, who at Microsoft
You're
launches
right.
anymore? You know, that's
You're right.
1990 stuff. That's
Right.
2016 blockchain stuff. When we
Right.
get
That's
serious,
true.
as it gets more serious, it's going to get boring, right? It's going to be more mainstream, less exciting,
Mhm.
as
Mhm.
it becomes more ubiquitous, it's going to be less cool. It's just going to
100%.
be a thing that exists now. And
Right.
we'll still have our nifty little things and meetups and stuff, but it won't be like it
Sure.
is in the mainstream media and the hype we're getting right now on the way up to building it. This is the early
Yeah.
adoption stages and the opportunities to actually get behind projects that have a chance. And I wanted to tap into that with you a
Right.
little bit. You've got to really get behind the scenes, like I said, with a lot of these projects, especially in Asia. And not every single one of them has succeeded, but some of them are still doing very well, even in a bear
Yeah.
market. I'm just
Yeah. Yeah.
curious,
Yeah.
maybe what are one or two of the projects that are doing better than others, and what are they doing differently to succeed in this bear market?
Well, I guess I'll tell you my personal experience of just visiting people's offices in Shanghai, which was kind of cool to do. And what they're building at this exact moment, I'm not sure. It's not like I'm checking like certain people's GitHubs or anything, and I haven't been so focused on specific coins. But when I met with, it was really cool going to the VeChain office. Me and I went to the VeChain office, and it was like kind of in like I don't want to say office park, but it was like kind of in this cool area of Shanghai, brick building, and you walk up and like you have to like KYC to go in, and you like get off the elevator. And it's like this super cool reception area, like cool lady chilling behind it, super nice. They had like all like the cool like stuffed animals and like just flair, and it had the big VeChain logo. And then they showed us the whole office for like 2 hours, and everybody had like these glass cubicles, and they put this modern art on the wall, and it was like Chinese renditions of like American pop culture. Like it was like Kurt Cobain album, but it was like all restylized. It was really fucking cool. Like if I had a loft in New York City, that's what I would put in it, kind of stuff. And I met the team, and they were cool, showing us like computer chips that they're making and stuff. So that was a pretty impressive office. VeChains was pretty cool. Like you could tell they're well funded and busy. That was really cool. We met with the people at CP Chain. That nice people. A lot of them were Chinese Americans that lived in America for a while, moved back to Shanghai, kind of go back, I guess, to their native country and like build it.
Yeah.
And they were cool too, man. And then the Pundi X team, I really liked them. They were super nice. Like Zach, the CEO, he's chill, he's a smart guy. Piku, I'm not sure exactly how to
What's
say
the
her name.
environment like for Pondiacs? I mean, I've seen,
Hmm.
people being able to transact with it and actually
Yeah,
use it, even at like food trucks at a conference. How
yeah,
was that experience like, using Pondiacs? Because a lot of people don't know what Pondiacs is or how it works or what they
yeah,
even do. All a lot of people
yeah,
know is it's an altcoin and they can trade it.
yeah. Well, no, it was cool. We met them in Bali, and they had like the Pundi X terminal there. I was out there with like Crypto Cactus was out in Bali, and Nye and me, and Big Crypto was out there. But yeah, we met the team, and they had their point of sale terminal, and then he like gave me some card with like $10 on it. Tried it, print out the receipt.
10
It's
bucks
it's
worth of
pretty.
crypto though, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And tried it. Thing. I bought a T-shirt from him. Pretty much gave him the money he gave back to me, but whatever. And no, it was cool. And then they had like the blockchain phone they released there in Bali, which was pretty cool.
Yeah,
That
I
was like
want
one of
one.
my most viral tweets. It got like a ton of views. Um,
I'm actually
and
waiting for a blockchain phone. I think I won a Finny.
ooh, okay,
Yeah, so that
okay,
Pontiac one though is on my list. I got to collect them all.
yeah, I'm trying to get it too. I told him to send me one. We'll see. Uh,
Do you have Pontiac cards? Did
yeah, I
they
have
like
one.
the white and black one, the security card and the debit card?
Yeah, I think I have it. I think I
I
have it
have it in my wallet
in my.
somewhere.
Yeah,
Dude,
I have
I
one of them in my
I
desk.
clipped it from Consensus, man, in New York City. They were on
Really?
stage. Yeah, dude, they got crowded. They were doing a presentation and they got mobbed. So I went on stage kind of and I was just like playing with them and I was like, "Can I have these?" And nobody stopped me, so I kept them. I don't know what's on
What?
them, but I have the security card and the debit card and I'm going to hodl it for life.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, those are cool. I mean, I met a decent amount of companies. I met a ton of companies actually. I met a lot of the founders. Got to chill. Got to like do an interview with CZ in Singapore, which was badass.
That was
That
badass,
was
dude. I was in awe in that interview, dude. Like that was such a chill conversation, man. What was that like to meet him? Was it like eerie to hang out with a dude who went from zero to multi billions out of nowhere?
well, I wish I would have had my wait, can you hear me? I don't
Oh
know if
yes,
my
yeah, I can
headphones
hear
got
you.
okay, sorry. I was in Singapore and I wish I would have had my microphone and camera with me. I literally just put my iPhone on like a little tripod because I wasn't prepared. But I saw CZ outside of the Marina Bay Sands in Singapore. I was like, fuck, that's CZ. Like he was just like chilling by himself. I was like, shit. All right. I was like, I'm gonna say hey. I was like, yo, CZ, what's up? He's like, what's up? I'm like, what's up? He's like, all right. I'm like, all right. And I like walked away.
Like I did it. I met CZ.
Yeah. I had nothing more to say. I was done. You know, I was like, all right, that's it. And then later I was like filming some live stream in the Marina Bay Sand Tower. And then I'm like turning the camera and then like CZ's like 10 feet away from me, just like hanging out with a bunch of people. And I'm like, all right, I'm gonna talk to him. So I was just like, yo, hey, yo, can you do an interview? And he's like, talk to my assistant. And I was like, bet. So like I met with her, we exchanged contact details, and I kind of just followed up with her pretty persistently for like a day until the next morning. It was like super early. It was like 6 a.m. She's like, all right, you're live with CZ this afternoon. I was like, all right, you know. So we were supposed to meet at like 2 p.m. I think, about 2 p.m. But the problem is the conference was so packed. I mean, it was like the big conference of Singapore. He was just getting mobbed by like dozens of people at all time. I was like, I don't want to do an interview like in the hallway where like 20 random people just walk up in the middle of it.
Yeah, I've
so
been
like,
there, and they'll just bump into your camera or something.
Yeah. So I was like, I'm gonna go find a room, like a private room or something. So like talked to like the business center. I was like, yo, I need like this conference room, and they're like, I was like, bet. And then I like texted one of the Binance members. I was like, yo, hey, I got it secured. Here's like where it's at. Like I can just meet him there, like whatever. And then she's like, cool. And then she was like, hey, real quick, actually, can you meet 2 hours earlier, like in 5 minutes? I'm like, fuck. All right. Well, I'm like on the other side of the tower, which is like huge. Like it connects underground. It's like this giant labyrinth. So I'm like in the underground mall, and I'm like, fuck, I don't have anything on me because I was supposed to go back to my room. I was like, I'll meet you there. So like I run to the business center and see there by himself. And I'm like,
oh wait, I might have lost your audio.
you know, like this shit threw me off. You know what I'm saying?
Can you hear me?
Oh wait,
there
hold
on
go. 1 second.
Now I think
my
hear you.
Headphones
Look
broke
at that.
or something.
Look at that first world problems over there with AirPods dying.
Hey, can you hear me? Sorry, like my headphones died. So.
Yeah, no, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
All right. So, well, I guess I'll segue into the next topic real quick because it is it is related. Man, wait, you know what? I'm going to pause this for a second. Where are you right now, and what is her name back there?
I'm at the hotel pool.
Oh yeah, don't dox yourself too far. Don't dox yourself too far.
Yeah.
That is pretty bougie looking, bro. But you know, I'm gonna segue into it. We're talking about Binance. You're interviewing CZ.
Sure.
You know, what are your thoughts on Binance now accepting debit and credit cards for purchasing of, you know, basically a la carte currency, anything you really want?
Yeah.
You know, what are your thoughts on that? Is that long term positive? What effects do you think that has on the market for Bitcoin?
I feel like nothing moves Bitcoin anymore. I mean,
yeah, it used to just be like, you know, one TV show mentions it, we're in.
Yeah, no, I think it's great. I mean, I think it's probably a pretty big deal to be able to like buy Bitcoin in like European countries, and like I think you can just buy pretty much anything that's on Binance with a credit card now. Is that true?
As far as I know, at least that's in the roadmap, if not right now.
Yeah. And I think that's excluding U.S. customers. It's mostly just people that use British pounds and euros, I believe. But that's pretty fucking big deal.
Yeah.
You know, like Coinbase is adding some. MetalPay has like 30 currencies now or something, or 15. So no, I mean, just the concept. I mean, that's a big deal to be able to instantly cash out or cash in of stuff. I think over the long term, it's curious to see how this all plays out, because if essentially you can just transfer between fiat and crypto instantaneously, it's like, what's the implications of that? If you can do that in every country, because even like a year and a half ago, it's like kind of a pain in the ass to like buy Bitcoin or sell Bitcoin. I guess you could do Coinbase, but now it's like MetalPay, Cash App, Binance, Coinbase. So it's like, what will be the role of cryptocurrencies if you can just like instantly swap between them back from cash? So like, what is the true use case for it?
I would say it would be the permissionlessness of the people that
Yes.
are not able to submit the KYC to exchange on the exchanges.
Yeah.
A lot of people are privileged with the ability to use Coinbase. Unfortunately, there's more unbanked and unidentified people, which means they don't have any driver's license or state identification to actually, or a place of residence, which is all required to be approved to buy and sell Bitcoin through those centralized platforms.
Yep.
But that's, again, a totally different topic. What I worry about, though, is it potentially suppressing Bitcoin's price and taking away a lot of Bitcoin's clout and credibility in the industry by allowing people to pair in and out on fiat rather than bottom foundation layer being Bitcoin. When people were, even retail investors, when they were buying, shit coins, they were paying in Bitcoin or Ethereum, and they were keeping 5 to 10% in holding of that that first asset that they had to buy, which basically kept them, no pun intended, from FOMOing, back into that currency and selling their actual investment. So I just get worried about Bitcoin in the long term, people being clouded and their judgment being clouded about where to go and why. I mean, again, Chainalysis and the tax implications people aren't aware of. If we have a decent bull run and people start spending Bitcoin through these centralized platforms, they're going to be in a world of hurt when it comes to tax season, because nobody knows what to do right now. And first in, first out capital gains is a bitch in a bull run.
Yep. Yeah, man. I mean, it's very curious to see how everything plays out, because like there's like Bitcoin, there's altcoins. It's like, what's the role of Bitcoin? Is it the global currency like Jack thinks and like 1,000 other people do, of course? And then what's the role of quote unquote shit coins, right? What's the role of that? Is it just loyalty points? Is it alternatives to Bitcoins? I mean, there's so many different segments. There's like, and then now they're trying to implement pretty much everything that altcoins do onto the Bitcoin network, which makes sense. Lightning Network, they're trying to do smart contracts and all types of things. So
yeah, even Litecoin's starting to incorporate privacy in their transactions, and I've been suspecting this since I got into crypto, that I believe that when I saw Litecoin initiate SegWit and go through with it and helped Bitcoin do the same, and now Lightning and Bitcoin the same, I again see the same thing happening. If Litecoin successfully implements an optional way to do private transactions native on its blockchain, Bitcoin will adopt that as well. And Bitcoin will keep adopting and growing and moving forward. But to touch on what you said about the role of the quote-unquote shitcoins is, I believe it's to alleviate a lot of the pressure on Bitcoin's blockchain with unnecessary use case. Bitcoin can do whatever an altcoin can do, but if it doesn't want to, it doesn't want to, and the blockchain will be congested if we start to throw every cat video on Bitcoin's blockchain right now. So let's use Ethereum for that to alleviate some of the pressure, or whatever you choose. But again, when we have atomic swaps and lightning channels, I don't think it's going to matter.
Yeah, it's really weird, because like I guess right now, there are a ton of like Applebee gift cards out there, right? There's like a ton of like fucking hotel.com perk points. Like there's all this shit out there, and like some people game it so good. Like I have a buddy that, I mean, I don't think he has ever paid for anything. I think he paid for stuff one time, and now he just like flips it from a credit. He's like, dude, if I pay for half this meal on this credit card, and then you let me buy like half your tank of gas, I get a free flight to Hong Kong. Like all this like weird shit where he's like the points king, And it's like, do those end up being shit coins in 2 years? Like, does hotels.com have a fucking shit coin? Does
well, you know what a shit coin is today? It would be a Toys R Us gift card.
Exactly, right?
Or Blockbuster gift card. If you had money in your Blockbuster account and your Blockbuster gift card, that's basically a legacy shit coin.
That's so true. Or you have the buy 9 Subway sandwiches, punch this card, get the 10th one free. I mean, that's a legacy shitcoin, I guess.
Yeah,
So
around the same thing.
are we just transitioning from digitizing Subway gift cards and Hotel.com points and, you know, Amex miles?
Well,
Is
and
that
I think in order for that model to survive, they're going to use security tokens to incentivize investors to keep value in the company by rewarding them in dividends of utility tokens that are used by customers in the business's economy, that they could then sell those dividends for more security tokens to keep the value back going sustain into the economy, which would replace the need of institutional and mainstream investors. I mean, you could start a small lemonade stand, Shark Tank style, basically on Twitter.
right? Right. Yeah, man. I think
I
that's
heard
where it's all.
I saw a post Sean and I did right before we went live, and he was talking shit on security tokens. So I can't wait to get him on here because I do believe security tokens are the next ICO boom.
Yeah, it's dancing around the government regulations and seeing what they enact and whether like America's going to be like future forward, whether we're going to wait and see what everybody else does. It makes sense. I mean, essentially it's like the network effect. I think like
Yep.
It makes sense that hotels.com, if they have or Airbnb, right? All their guests and all their thousands of hosts worldwide, or hundreds of thousands, like it would make sense that they would have some type of reward system that they weren't able to implement easily a decade ago, but maybe in like 5-10 years. Like that might just be the common thing. Like, hey, every time you use our thing, you get 10 of our utility tokens. If you accrue enough of these, you can convert them into 0.1 share of our publicly traded company, which is now like a digitized token, aka Pomp. And I think, before there just wasn't enough communication without the internet, I guess. Like if you were a shareholder in Exxon in 1940, you literally just had like a piece of paper mailed to you, and then like you would get a check every quarter.
Hopefully it's the real deal, right? Hopefully it's the real deal.
Hopefully it was a real stock certificate. And then in like the 80s, I guess it started like they were trading on computers in the 90s, and then now it's just like all on the computer. But I don't think it stops there. I guess it probably does get converted onto some type of distributed ledger or blockchain.
Well, the New York Stock Exchange is publicly looking into blockchain technology for trading their assets completely, 24/7 and using blockchain for that. And even Abra just made it possible for people to invest in stocks, bonds, ETFs, all with Bitcoin. Talk about a use case for Bitcoin, man.
I saw that today, actually. Yeah, I think Bitcoin is just going to stay as like the universal currency of crypto. It's going to be like the kingmaker. It's going to be like the uncensorable one. No one knows who made it. There's some beautiful things as a result of that. And I think everything else, maybe not everything, but I think a lot of them will maybe turn into like you said, like the legacy blockbuster card. I think a lot of those will turn into that. Like the Amazon, Facebooks, they'll do that. Which they'll probably figure out how to do it effectively. And then I think in between those two, there's like protocol level stuff like Ethereum, EOS, Tron, and not endorsing any of these. I'm just saying Tezos, Neo, like stuff like that. Those are like protocol levels. And then the equivalent of ERC20s will be built on top of those. But then probably at some point, maybe Apple makes their own protocol. I don't know.
I could see that. I am with you. As you said that, the first thing that came to my mind was iOS blockchain. Their foundational layer operating system will be an active blockchain. And in order to use your device at all times, it must have internet connection to sync with the blockchain. Otherwise, offline, this is a brick device. It is trash. It does nothing. That's my thoughts on the future of blockchain technology. Is all means of communication will be done in an encrypted device blockchain OS based. And yeah, you're right. They'll probably create their own token that will be used in their iOS app store. That will be a security token backed. Dude, the future of this space is going to be so different. It will be as taking the current state of our world 20 to 30 years from, in the past, and just dropping it on our parents and saying, check out this Netflix shit. And they're like, whoa, wait, Netflix, internet, what is all of this? And that's the same exact whoa we're going to have in about, I see 10 years instead of 30 because of exponential growth.
Yeah, I think by this time next year, everything should be a lot clearer.
Yeah, I mean, getting there, it's been crazy. I mean, right now we're in one of the, we got dropped. That was an airdrop right there, guys. But I wanted to talk a little bit about the bear market right now that we're in. I mean, it's the longest bear market in Bitcoin history, and people are starting to get really concerned at $3,400 a Bitcoin when 2 years ago it was like $300 a Bitcoin or something. So, I mean, people got to take that with a grain of salt and not be so greedy, in my opinion. But what are you doing right now to prepare yourself, in the bear market for the next bull run?
Yeah. Well, I'm building FOMO Hunt because I think it's gonna be dope.
What's the FOMO Hunt?
Doing some networking. Honestly, man, like I have like little side gigs where I make money. I do like branding and consulting for people, like not just in crypto, but like traditional software companies. Like, if they want something like cool to be built, they want a brand to be built. I'm the guy. And with the website and all that, and I'm getting into video production out in LA, so I got some cool stuff happening with that. Doing some videos for some big companies and stuff. Got an amazing videographer that we're gonna be like doing some really cool stuff. So I'm just focusing on making money, and then try to just buy as many Bitcoins as I can. Like that's it, really. Like. Nothing crazy. Just like get my income up so it's cool. I make a lot of money, don't have a lot of expenses, and just like try to buy a bunch of Bitcoins.
So you're not really diversifying right now? You're trying to just accumulate BTC at the moment, or are you diversifying and hedging?
No, I'm definitely. I like a lot of the protocols. Like I think those are hot.
I agree with like things like 0x and stuff like that are being used even by like a lot of people don't realize this, but when Coinbase listed 0x, I kind of looked into it and I was kind of insidery because they actually use 0x protocol and they just launched after listing the token on their own platform. So it's a little sketch when you look at I would say the chill factor of what they did. But I mean, if you look into a company that listed a token that they're using as a base layer for Coinbase Pro Trade, I mean, yeah, it makes sense. Like these protocols are going to be foundational layers. These are going to be the tools that build the internet of 2.0.
Yeah, I mean, I think one, you might be able to ride the wave of success on some of these good protocols. You might be able to catch that next Ethereum. And then on the secondary, there's Bitcoin, which is like, you might want to have a couple Bitcoins in 10 years.
At least one. I mean, I'm with Charlie Lee. If you don't own one Bitcoin, stop buying everything. Stop. And accumulate your one Bitcoin. And then after that, then you can play around with everything else. But I mean, goal one should be accumulation of at least one BTC. And then let your priorities do whatever. But, you got to secure that one Bitcoin. There's only 21 million. Right now, there's about 4 million of them completely lost, gone, poof in the air, and 17 million Bitcoin in supply circulating, which means technically, if you do the math, 21 million Bitcoin are in existence right now. It is a weird concept if you think of it that way, but moving forward with the halvening, it's going to become a real piranha fest. I mean, what is it? 3 out of 5 businesses in Europe are hedging into Bitcoin just for security from things like, WannaCry viruses. That inspired a lot of businesses to actually buy Bitcoin as a means to pay hackers as a security measure rather than an investment vehicle. So the Bitcoin these companies are buying, yeah, dude, it's crazy. Like when WannaCry came out, it was super inspiring because like everybody was talking about it and a lot of companies were paying these ransoms in Bitcoin. So it was just confusing to me. But when I looked into it, it was the security companies, the businesses hired that were paying the Bitcoin, and they were actually acquiring it for future use in case of a bull run. So if it's cheaper to buy the Bitcoin now and pay the hacker, that's what they'll do. But if their Bitcoin accumulated value, they would use that trove. So that is a significant store of value in Bitcoin that nobody thinks of. It's just Bitcoin's an investment vehicle. It's more than that. It's a digital asset that you can build things on top of. Imagine HTTP or Java or HTML5 being limited in resource, you know, and you need these lines of code to create websites. You know, people don't understand that it's finite. Everyone's used to, you know, money being able to be printed out of thin air, stocks splitting, things like, you know, just being able to make more for everybody, you know?
Right. Yeah, man. It's kind of crazy when you start thinking about it. Like, you know, what happens in like 15 years and like more than half of all the Bitcoins probably would have lost by that point.
At the rate we're going, Venezuela and France and all these other countries moving into Bitcoin at an amazing rate, even after the bear market has been as long as it is. Yeah, I mean, look at what Wells Fargo has just done in the U.S. I'd be a little sketched. I mean, I would hope the mainstream is waking up to the potential of not having money tomorrow.
Yeah, man, Bitcoin saved my ass one time in Vietnam, so...
You sound way too young, and that sounds way too retro of a sentence to say right now. You
right,
understand that you sound like the oldest millennial I've ever met, that Bitcoin saved my life in Vietnam once.
Oh, man, I didn't mean it like a fucking veteran, but yeah, that's funny.
Holy shit, you're a crypto vet, bro. Damn.
No, that's funny.
That is funny, dude. I mean, we've been in this space. I mean, even 2 years is like a lifetime in this industry. You know, I kind of want to move on because we're getting close on time here, and I see you got a party to get to back there. Look at that. You got to jump in the pool for me before you get off. If we can get $1,000 super chat, I'll send you the money. You jump in the pool.
How much do I get?
I'll send it to you. YouTube steals 30%, so I'll give you the 70% if somebody sends me $1,000 super chat.
Bro, it'd be so fucking cold.
Somebody's watching. Somebody's gonna do it. I have faith, guys. All right. But I wanted to. You've been in the space long enough to know that, you know, several exchanges have just disappeared or otherwise have stopped associating themselves with U.S. customers or for other reasons had issues. And recently we've had Quadriga, the Canadian exchange, kind of. How
sketchy is that?
It's just beyond sketchy. I kind of did an interview.
His will like last week and then died in India.
He got married 3 weeks before he died and had everything sent to her name the day after the wedding, and then died 12 days after that. And his name on the death certificate is out of the country and spelled wrong. And so they can't find the Bitcoin public addresses to even find the Bitcoin to track on the blockchain. So they have no clue where the Bitcoin is. They don't know the receiving address even.
That can't be that hard to find the address, huh?
That's what they're saying. They have no clue the receiving address to then check on the blockchain to make sure the Bitcoin that the company is supposed to have is in fact in cold storage on that public address.
Couldn't they just like check the deposit?
Apparently they had no information. He locked the one CEO. We got a 99-cent super chat from Nico Z. How goes it, bro? We're almost there. We're almost there. We only need $999, and we got Lawrence jumping in a pool. But as I digress, what are your thoughts though when it comes to these centralized exchanges and risk management? How do people take part in this opportunity without taking too much risk involved? I mean, the risk reward ratio right now, it seems pretty good. We're in an accumulation period. If we have another bull run, this bear market may be the most beneficial in the history of Bitcoin. So like what would you recommend to people that, you know, as far as risk management goes with using exchanges like this?
I guess don't store it on the exchanges too long.
That's it. Mic drop.
Right? I mean, DEXs aren't really liquid, and none of them are really that popular. So if you want to like do any type of decent sized trade, you have to use a centralized exchange, and maybe use one that's like been around for a couple of years and hasn't pulled an exit scam yet. Like I've never even heard of what's it called?
Quadriga, and I had never heard of it, and I've been to Canada quite a bit.
Yeah, I've never heard of. I've never even seen the
They
logo
had
before.
100,000 active traders with over $190 million in Bitcoin. 26,000 Bitcoin lost.
Like, I'm very curious to know what made those customers, why they want to use that exchange. Was it the first one they used? Did they like the UI? Because I've never fucking
It's
heard of it.
limit, right? I mean, there's not many options in Canada. You have Coinberry and maybe one or two other ways. Netcoins is one option.
I mean, did they have
it's hard.
fiat? Was fiat withdrawal, like, could you do fiat on it?
I'm not sure. I would need
Or
a
is it just like
Canadian to
Binance
fact
where
check
you
this.
just, like, yeah, maybe so.
I
know,
would with that much money. It would be hard to believe they had a fiat gateway with that much money in Canada on the exchange. They were incentivizing people to keep those keys on there somehow.
190 million, man. So he probably either A, unfortunately was killed, B,
Or no, he died of Crohn's disease is what the death certificate says in whatever crazy third world country he died in.
Or he faked his death. I guess one of those three.
It's starting to look like that may be the case, which is like the weirdest. I mean, I've been in Bitcoin long enough to see some crazy stuff. Like, you know, even BitConnect, I thought would have like a Lifetime movie on a daytime TV channel or something. But like, this is kind of taking the cake in writing a script for a Netflix original documentary kind of thing. Like, this is a rabbit hole that never ends when you look into the company. I was in an interview earlier with BitBoy, and he was showing me that this company is actually related to other companies that have went insolvent, and it looks like this company Quadriga or whatever is related to Bitfinex in a way.
Really?
Dude, there's just so much happening in the background. But like you said, the best risk management is to just abuse the exchange for what it can do and get your keys off of it as soon as possible.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. And then, you know, I mean, there's many times someone's like, you got to buy this low cap gym, bro. It's on like zooanimals.bitcoin.com. I'm like, nah, bro. I ain't trusting it. Like, I don't fucking care. Like, not even that interested, you know? Some people take those risks and like deposit like a Bitcoin on some crazy fucking weird exchange and like, whatever. If you want to do it.
I couldn't do it, man. I've seen some of these shady exchanges, even with things like Bitcoin Gold. Bitcoin Gold had a Bitcoin wallet on their website, and during the fork, they basically stole everybody's Bitcoin during the fork. And this was from the BitcoinGold.org, like legitimate website. Oh yeah, they claimed that it was some insider hacker who changed the address or something. But get the fuck out! Come on, guys, you know what you were doing. Yeah. And then we have, you know, there's just so much, but the space has ever grown, man. And with things like FOMO Hunt in the works, bro, I'm just excited for 2019. What's the roadmap for you, Digital Lawrence, as a content creator? And what's the roadmap like for FOMO Hunt as a platform for, you know, cryptocurrency conferences and events to have, you know, a voice?
Cool. Yeah. FOMO Hunt kind of, I mean, I don't know if anybody's really watching right now, but we're going to launch the beta tonight. Just like the password to access it is the future is now. If you want to try it out. And yeah, we'll launch that tonight / tomorrow morning. That's just going to be the super easy early beta. Roll out some features next week. Keep adding more events. We're going to add some ambassadors in different countries, give them free tickets to events. Help them document the space, maybe make some cool videos like at all the conferences around the world. Then we're going to add our social feeds. We're going to have some pretty cool like integrations with like Marketplace and just continue to make it more social. It's going to like turn into like LinkedIn for crypto. And you know, we need people's help. But the thing about it is like everything we're going to do is just like for people that use it. Like any feature anybody wants, just like hit me up and like we'll add it, you know, if it's like beneficial. So we're gonna just try to like build that out, and probably in like a month or two, the site will be quote like ready. Right now it's just like a beta, you know, we built it over the Christmas break, and this is just like the beta, and we're gonna try that out. And roadmap for Digital Lawrence is probably kicking in LA. I got some sick videos coming out and shoot some videos with some companies. Got like this really sick camera. So just make some cool videos and work with some more companies on branding. And then I'll probably start hitting Asia like in March and start to hit some conferences for a bit.
Dude, that is awesome. I'm checking out the website right now while you were
Yeah,
talking, and it even has my Twitter feed here. And I would imagine if
yeah, yeah.
I linked my other accounts like it does in settings, that it would keep up with more of all of my social media. So this is like one place for people to go and see my latest tweet, my what would be my Facebook post, and things like that.
Yeah.
I would imagine as well, right?
Yeah, yeah. It's gonna just be like your digital business card.
Dude, I'm digging it. And you even have the
You like it?
marketplace. Oh, you got discounts on this Paris hooded vest, though. $10 off.
Yeah, that's a sneak. We're gonna do a flash sale tomorrow, and we're dropping that FOMO Hunt bag as a collaboration with Brecky. So every week we're gonna showcase somebody in the community and do a collaboration piece.
Dude, that site looks awesome, guys. Check out
Cool.
FOMOhunt.com and create an account. If you guys are crypto enthusiasts and you attend events and you're looking to contribute to the platform in a role of an ambassador or somebody that attends events and you would like to help contribute to the platform, reviewing on those events and or even hosting. Maybe some events are happening in your area and they don't really get any attraction. This may be a
Yeah.
way to help them get some more attendance. So you could, introduce them to FOMOhunt.com, guys. Digital Lawrence, much appreciated, bro. Gotta have you on the show once the website's get some features up and running, and let's
Cool.
see what people think. Everybody, don't forget to pound that thumbs up button, click the subscribe, flick the alert bell, and have a day.
Cool. Thanks, man, for having me on.